So, ladies and gents, the first stop on the official Ring of Kerry route is this stunning little sleepy village, or sleepy town rather, called Killorglin. Now, Killorglin has a population of approximately 2,199 people. Killorglin is most famous, however, for its festival every year, which takes place in August from the 10th to the 12th. It's famous horse and cattle fair, a celebration of what is called Puck Fair. On Pucker Bwilla is a very famous traditional song which tells the legend of the goat in our midst here, ladies and gents. Now, why is there a statue of a goat? Well, the fair itself dates back way back to the 1713s, when King James I of England granted a legal charter for this fair to take place. Now, legend has it, when Cromwellian forces were attacking villages and towns all over Ireland, one of the wild goats from the mountains came in to the village after escaping its own herd, warning the people of the impending invasion, giving them time to set up their defences against Cromwell. And the sculpture here was unveiled on the 5th day of August 2001 in commemoration of the enduring Killorglin tradition of Puck Fair, and its central figure is King Puck. Kings may come and kings may go, but King Puck goes on forever, and it was sculpted there. So what happens every year, a group of the townsmen will head into the mountains and they will pick a wild goat. The goat is brought into the town as a celebration of thanks, and he is crowned King of Puck Fair. And he's put up on top of the mountain, on top of the town actually. He is hoisted up and fed and watered and celebrated for 3 days. An amazing tradition which dates all the way back to, we believe, around the 1700s. Now, a local schoolgirl who will be crowned Queen of Puck will crown the wild goat, and he'll remain in that position hoisted up on top of the town for 3 days while the entire town celebrates. So for hundreds of years, a male mountain goat has been enthroned as King of Puck Fair in Killorglin town. The Puck goat reigns over the fair held on the 10th, the 11th and the 12th of each year. It's a symbol of a vast tradition whose origins are lost in the midst of time. So there's been several legends about it, but it is a fascinating thing to see if you come. Now, the pubs are opened till 3 a.m. in the morning during Puck Fair, so effectively it's a massive festival here in this amazing town on the Ring of Kerry. And that is our first stop today, and we start already with a pagan festival and the crowning of a wild goat. Now let me get one more shot for you of the beautiful town as you're heading up over the bridge. And that's the first stop on our Ring of Kerry. Look at the colourful places. So 10th to the 12th of August, the cattle fair, and the horse fair is the first day. The second day is the cattle fair, and the third day there's market stalls with fabulous people sell their wares and their souvenirs and their goods and their Irish goods and clothing, and typical of any market that you might have seen on any future other tours of mine, but more Irish. So that's the first stop on our Ring of Kerry. And this is the little town itself. Lovely little colourful Irish town with a population of about 2,199. Give you a little look behind me of where we are. The kingdom. That's what the nickname of Kerry is Kerry is the kingdom. I'm just going to take a little view as soon as I can cross the road here. It's a very famous pub in the area, very well known, the Old Forge. So our next stop en route on the Ring is the beautiful town, or little village rather we'd call it, of Glenbeigh, which was proudly represented in County Kerry in the All-Ireland Pride of Place competition in 2009. I love these little competitions we have around Ireland. They're tidy towns competitions that we have won several times in Killarney, which you've seen a lot of Killarney, of course. So we started at Killarney, then Killorglin, and Glenbeigh comes from the Irish of Glenbeigh. It's on the Iverra Peninsula, and that's the largest peninsula in Ireland, and that's what we're headed around today. And because of its location on the Ring of Kerry and on the Wild Atlantic Way, it is a major tourist destination. Now, it also is framed by these beautiful Cahersiveen mountains you see ahead of you. And I guess what it's most famous for is this stunning beach called Rossbeigh Beach. I'll be showing you a beautiful view of that. And surprisingly enough, folks, we do get some good weather in Ireland in the summertime. So we spend a lot of our time on Rossbeigh Beach and in Inch Beach, which is on the Dingle Peninsula, which will be a future video in the works, no doubt. But surrounded by a horseshoe of hills and the Cahersiveen Mountains, and the Cara and the Beha rivers flow at either side of the village into Castlemaine Harbour. But this is the beautiful little village of Glenbeigh. And that's where we're headed next now, straight down to Rossbeigh Beach. And here's the small local Catholic church in Glenbeigh. Next stop, Rossbeigh Strand and Beach. Right, folks, so this is Rossbeigh Strand, and it'll be the first beach on our trip on the Ring of Kerry today. Very popular beach with Killarney locals and anyone from Kerry that comes vacationing here in the summertime. Now, it's a sand spit protected by two beaches on either end, and one of the other beaches is Inch Beach, which is in that direction, and that's on the Dingle Peninsula. We'll do another tour of that another time. And the beaches are protecting, the sand spit is protecting the bay from the wild Atlantic Ocean. And if you look closely, you'll see the stunning formation here, the dunes. There's my friend Deirdre, and we have a chauffeur for the day as well. Give it a little wave, Deirdre. There she is, helping me out, and she's getting some amazing visuals herself today. And if you look very closely, just going to show you something braver than I am, but no doubt they have their wetsuits on. Just in the distance, I'm going to try and zoom in, you'll see two surfers braving this quite a crisp, cold day here in Kerry. First major beach on our tour today of the Ring of Kerry. So this is the northern side of the peninsula at the moment, and right here I just wanted to film this beautiful little bridge from the village of Glenbeigh, which takes you back around this direction to Rossbeigh Beach. So the beach route is right that direction. Just to show you here, it's very well mapped out. Cahersiveen will be our next stop on the Ring of Kerry today. And these are our Irish road signs. And that is Rossbeigh and Glenbeigh, ladies and gents. Next up, Cahersiveen. So all along the ring, ladies and gents, you have these amazing little side areas for the cars, and they do have lay-by areas, which are the best parts to get the panoramics in the area. So some of the best views, all the main buses and bus companies will stop off here along the way. So if you do take an organised bus tour, it's very well put together. The company I use is Dero's Tours in Killarney. I'll put a link in the description, DERO''S. And they leave about 10:30 every day, and they get back about 4:30. But you stop off for lunch and at these amazing viewing stops. Now, this is all part as well of the Wild Atlantic Way. You can drive practically all around the coastal towns of Ireland, all the major parts, but the mountain stage is one part. This is the name, and these poles give you all the information about this. See the jagged edge at the end? That'll let you know when you're on the Wild Atlantic Way. So mountain stage, here's a little bit of history about it. And the Kerry Way is actually a stunning walk all around the coastal towns as well. And that Kerry Way walk is right behind you, up over the mountain here. So not for the faint-hearted, and definitely for the more skilled mountaineers and professional hiker and climbers. But we get a lot of people from Germany, and the Dutch come all over the world just to hike the Kerry Way. Hi guys. So we have a little bit. And this is the view you are facing, folks. Just going to get up on the wall here to get the right proper panoramic for you. Look how stunning is that. So as mentioned, these little viewing points are on the lay sides of the road all along the Ring of Kerry, so you can get the best visuals and the best panoramics in the area.
Exactly. Why isn't your coat on? No, that's not what I asked.
We have a gang of young people here behind us having a good time. They're taking their little day trip as well. This is our little road trip. So every year that I come home, twice or three times a year, I always go on a little adventure with my friends Deirdre and Dean, and I get to be a tourist for a day. And it's a pleasure to bring you all with us. Some of the most beautiful scenery on the Atlantic, the coastal towns of the Atlantic in southwest Ireland. So we're going to continue on our main route this direction, but just to show you, we're going to take a little detour down here into a stunning little place called Kells Bay. Another amazing place to come in the summertime. Attracts massive visitors to its Airbnbs in the area. But look at that view ahead of you. Isn't that just breathtaking, ladies and gents? I mean, again, I keep saying it, but you know, as many times as I've done the Ring of Kerry, it still literally takes your breath away. And it always reminds me of the quote, life isn't about the amount of breaths you take, it's about the amount of moments that take your breath away. And this is one of them, the beautiful little Kells. Let's head down this direction, right down towards Kells Bay. So we just took a little drive down a really beautiful long and winding road through stunning trees in this area to bring you down onto the pier here at Kells Bay. And I do remember as a young girl coming here years and years ago with the family. A great vacation spot again. You'll see all these little mobile homes can be rented in the summertime. One of my mom's friends, Bridie, actually has a beautiful Airbnb that she rents overlooking the ocean here. And I remember running out on this pier and diving off. I have a fond memory of a lot of stings from jellyfish, but when you're young, when you're a teenager, you take no notice of those things, especially if you can get into the freezing cold Atlantic. And is there anything better for the soul the mind, the head, the body, then open water swimming. Look at this, you guys. So you have your little steps down, it looks like, into and off the pier here. Let's have a look. Right below us there. A little ladder, if you're brave enough to head down into the ocean. But I do remember diving off here. I can't imagine I imagined it, but we've been quite young. And there you have it. Beautiful backdrop of the mountains. And the bay here. Always packed with people. And especially when we had lockdowns, which seems like many moons ago, the entire of Ireland came to vacation here at Kells Bay. But all the beaches and all the little villages and towns are huge destinations. So I always like to compare it to the Lake District in the UK, where most people in the UK come to hike and swim and fish in this beautiful little area. This is Kells. Okay folks, so we made it to Cahersiveen, our next stop on the town, with a population on the Ring of Kerry, with a population over 1,000 people, one of the westernmost towns in Ireland, making it henceforth one of the most westernmost towns in Europe. Now it lies at the foot of the Banshee Mountains and on the river Bertha, overlooking Valentia Harbour. Now a marina has been added to this beautiful town, so making it the perfect place for any of you boating enthusiasts. But it's a quaint, colourful little village, and I suppose one of the more highlights of the actual town itself of Cahersiveen has two very famous residents, in fact. One resident, those of you in the US will know of a chap called Donny O'Sullivan, very famous CNN correspondent, and he made his debut, I guess, with CNN, and during the election last year in the United States and the insurrection at Washington on the 6th of January, and we were all a bit blown away by this incredible guy from this small little town in Ireland, right on the front line, recording and reporting from the capital. Now, the other famous resident, the liberator he is known as, was Daniel O'Connell. He was born here in Cahersiveen. Oops, sorry, the car alarm. Let me just get out of the way there. Now, this stunning Catholic church you see here is the only church in the entire of Ireland that is named after a lay person. And there you will see the Daniel O'Connell Memorial Church of the Holy Cross of Cahersiveen. And Daniel O'Connell, as mentioned, was known as the liberator of Irish Catholics. His mobilization of Catholic Ireland helped secure Catholic emancipation here in 1829, allowing him actually to take a seat in the Houses of Parliament in Westminster as a Catholic. And for years he championed liberal reform and voter reform for Catholics in Ireland. And he himself, one of the most famous politicians in Irish history, was born here in Cahersiveen. Later on the Ring of Kerry trip, we will head around by Derrynane, and that's where his actual residence was. So more on Daniel O'Connell later on to come, but I just wanted to get you a couple of beautiful visuals of this lovely Irish town. And there's a picture of Daniel O'Connell here in the Daniel O'Connell Memorial Church. There he is. This building 1886. Let me just take you around here. There's a little bit more information about the church. And we will zoom in on that for you. It gives you a little history of the church itself. And there's a map of the area. Now that is the stunning Cahersiveen. These beautiful Celtic crosses. Isn't it really colourful, folks? Right here, we would be nearly halfway on the Ring of Kerry. That's Cahersiveen. Onward to our next stop. So our next part of the tour, ladies and gents, is the stunning little fishing village here of Portmagee. And this is where we decided to have a little break, and we're having some lunch, naturally, in a fishing village. How could we not try the fish and chips? And we're going to take you inside. But there's a fabulous little bit of history here about the Spirit of St. Louis, which is the movie that centres around Charles Lindbergh, played by the incredible James Stewart in that movie. And he makes this historic solo transatlantic flight from New York to Paris. And the film focuses largely on the dangerous journey over the Atlantic Ocean in his signature monoplane, the Spirit of St. Louis. In the movie, his first sighting of land shows a view of Skellig Michael, followed by a flyover shot of the pier in the village of Portmagee. And many locals were involved in the filming, which took place in 1956. But it's a beautiful small community. Now, strangely enough, it's quite quiet around. Well, it is early January, so it's off season, but it's the perfect time to visit. You'll see some of the fishermen at the end of the pier there. So we're going to head in here to the Fisherman's Bar. And I just wanted to show you inside the Fisherman's Bar. And we're just going to hang out there and have a nice bit of lunch before we head off on the next part of our road trip. But look how colourful this place is, ladies and gents. I love these different colours of villages on these gorgeous little cottages, these little houses along the way, and the view in the background there of the bay. Let's just head over here first and then into the gorgeous little bar and restaurant. This is Portmagee. Now you can take a ferry as well over to Valentia Island, and its world-renowned slate pit, Valentia slate, is probably one of the most desired slates for building with in the country. Very, very expensive, but the ferry crosses over to Valentia Island. I did that trip the last time I was home, but I wasn't YouTubing then, folks, so in future you will never miss out again. But if you could smell the fresh sea air, and we obviously are going to be ordering some of the tastiest local catch, so it doesn't get much fresher than this. I'm just going to head into the bar now. A couple of the customers have suggested they don't want to be on camera, so I have to be a bit mindful of other customers. I just want to make sure I don't get them on camera, and this timing couldn't be better. This beautiful little pub, and our lunch has arrived, so the guys are here Hi guys, there's Deirdre and Dean, and we're about to tuck in to this amazing local fair. Right, that's enough for now, ladies and gents. Just wanted to show you our little stop for lunch on the Ring of Kerry. And just make sure we don't get the chats in. They don't want to be on camera, which is fair enough. There we go. Except for the barman, he doesn't mind. He's smiling away. So we're right on the bridge here, and that is kind of cool. It's like a little lighthouse, you guys. It's almost like an air traffic control centre for the fishing boats, no doubt. Look out here, you'll see the seagull on top of the buoy there. And having a look around here, look how beautiful the village is. We've had the most amazing lunch there, and you just showed it being served up when we arrived. Now this is where you would get your tickets to visit by boat out to the Skellig Islands, and we will get a visual of that later on. It's not in sight right now, but you take a boat out and you can climb the islands of the Skellig Rock. You'll be most familiar with it if you saw the new Star Wars movie. And Star Wars, the most recent one, is where Luke Skywalker was hanging out, and it's been so popular as a result. The amount of Star Wars fans that have come here in search of the vacation area, or the area they filmed in. And unfortunately, one of the pubs was closed at the moment, but inside the pub is where a lot of the cast of Star Wars were drinking with the locals, and they have some amazing photos in there. So when I come back again, I will get the visual of that. But for right now, this is Portmagee, and we are on our adventure again. Next up is a surprise. It's probably one of the nicest towns on the entire Ring of Kerry coming up. But look at this gorgeous house here with the glass window front. Isn't that just beautiful right there? Next up, folks, is Waterville. And look at Ballinskellig Bay. Stunning, stunning views in front of the bay. Now, another two very famous residents here is this chap here. Would have been the most famous Irish Kerry footballer, one of in history. And there is a shrine to him everywhere, even his own little statue. This chap's name, he was born here, is Mick O'Dwyer. And if you just look closely up here, you'll see the famous Mick O'Dwyer's public house, or pub in the area. Now, Waterville affords you stunning views, but again, of course, all fresh fish is what I'd recommend you actually eat whilst you're on the Ring of Kerry Trail, because all the fish is locally sourced. And another famous visitor, one that might surprise you that little bit, is this chap called Charlie Chaplin, ladies and gents. In the 1960s, he made one visit here, and he was so taken with the place, him and his family returned every year for 10 years after that. So Charlie Chaplin has pride of place here with Mick O'Dwyer. They have a little bit of information for you here as well about Charlie Chaplin. And for the man who made the movies, speak in the hearts of millions, Charlie spent many years in our midst as a welcome and humble guest and friend to many. This image was created by sculptor Alan Ryan Hall, and it was funded by the generosity of Josephine Chaplin and by the EU Leader programme. So every year they actually have a Charlie Chaplin Comedy Festival here with the permission from the Charlie Chaplin estate. So that takes place again in August. So much to do in Kerry in August. We've already told you about Puck Fair and the beaches. Now, the population here is only 462 people, but that doesn't mean there's only 462 people here all year round, folks. That is just the local residents. Now, in the summertime, of course, the population swells into the thousands all around Kerry, but look at this beautiful walkway along the beach, and the sun will be setting in an hour or so. But But it just gives you an idea. Every village around here, all on the Atlantic coast. Another amazing stop. Now, most scheduled guided tours that you take, or bus tours, would stop here for a bit of lunch. And I know a lot of them go for the famous lobster dishes in this beautiful Bayview hotel. That'll take you all the way across here to the gorgeous village with a population 462 people. Well, quite for me. I'll stick with Killarney. But there it is, the small little sleepy village of Waterville. You can hear the seagulls in the background. And the town's name in Irish is Little Corrine, which means little cauldron or a little whirlpool. And it refers to the shape of Kells Bay that we're looking at right now, on which the town sits. So that, our next stop on the Ring of Kerry tour, Charlie Chaplin and Mick O'Dwyer. So looking right ahead of us, ladies and gents, is where they filmed Star Wars, right out there on that Skellig Rock. And the Skelligs you can take a day trip and a boat trip to. Where I was showing you there in Portmagee, boats go all the way out there and you can climb to the top of that rock. There's actually one cottage on there that you can rent an Airbnb, but be prepared to stay the night. Oh no, that's the Blaskets, my apologies you guys. But on the Skellig Rock, the scenery is breathtaking, surrounded by puffins in the area as well. They've inhabited that rock. But that's where that very famous scene in Star Wars, where Luke Skywalker, in the most recent franchise, was hiding out. So, the stunning Skellig Rock, right here en route to our next town on the Ring of Kerry. Another one of those beautiful viewing spots. Right, folks, as you can see, this is a major stop now on the Ring of Kerry, on an organised bus tour, but of course for cars as well. And the reason why this area is Coomakesta, and that's one of those wild Atlantic Way signs we see there again. I just want to show you, look at this. Looking down on Derrynane and Casey's Cove, which is also coming up. Look at the sun. One of the best viewing spots on the entire ring, but it's what a difference a day one makes, ladies and gents. I just wanted to show you. I filmed it yesterday when we had a clear day, but that's Ireland, and that's all part of touring in Ireland. The weather is a little bit mistier today, but I mean, you could not deny that that is absolutely breathtaking. This is one of the most famous stops on the Ring of Kerry, and every bus tour you take, this will be one of the layover stops. Now, I do believe that the best time to see this is usually on a clear day, but needs must. I can't control the weather. So welcome to the stunning part of the Wild Atlantic Way and the Ring of Kerry. This part is known as Coomakesta, and you will just see up here one of those poles I was telling you about earlier on. We saw one on the viewing spots, and just give you a little bit of information there. But look in the background, you guys. I mean, stunning, stunning. One of the most popular viewing spots in the entire of Ireland. The Ring of Kerry. Look at that little cottage down there. Can you imagine living down there? Now the weather is kind of slightly gone our way in a negative direction, so we are trying to film as much as I can. So I will be filming quite a bit now from the car as well, just to give you a lot of rugged landscape. So we're going to make a couple of stops very shortly. One is at Carroll's Cove, and one will be at Derrynane, the famous birthplace of Daniel O'Connell, or the famous residence of Daniel O'Connell, Derrynane House. We'll be heading through the beautiful quaint village of Sneem, and finally through Kinmare, over Mollsgap and back to Killarney. We're going to be heading down the mountain now on this main track, ladies and gents, and it's stunning rugged coastline. Apologies about the weather. There's really nothing I can do about the wind. We're right up on top of the mountain, and that's going to take us down to Cahersiveen and Castle Cove. The wind has really picked up, ladies and gents, but I just wanted to show you this rugged landscape and where we're going to be headed. We're heading back down this winding road through the mountains, and that's going to take us right down then to Castle Cove and Cahersiveen. Look at the stunning marina below, ladies and gents. Taking a slight detour off the main Ring of Kerry road to head down here towards Derrynane House and Derrynane National Park. Now it's a beautiful place to have a hike and a walk along here, again part of the Wild Atlantic Way, but I just wanted to show you a little bit of information here. This was the home of the Irish liberator who secured Catholic emancipation for the Irish in the 1820s, and here is a little bit of history about the most famous man in Ireland, known as the Liberator. A great Irish statesman, Derrynane was a special place for Daniel O'Connell, the Liberator and father of the Irish independence movement. His campaigning pushed through the Catholic Emancipation Act of 1829, which allowed the Catholics, like himself, to take their seats in the British Parliament. He was even proposed as first King of Belgium. So he lived in this stunningly beautiful house. Now this is like the National Heritage Trust in England. This is the Office of Public Works, and they run all these major tourist sites, and you will be familiar with the other house I did recently. Well, not recently, but the last time I did a Killarney tour, and that was the home of Mucker's house and the Vincent family on the Killarney National Estate. So here we have a little map of the area. Let's just head you down here. Oh, what an idyllic location he lived in. Right on the strand and on the beach in the area. So let's just have a look at the home of Daniel O'Connell. Ooh, the wind is picking up, you guys. This, what a place to live. He even has his own little chapel here. Stunningly beautiful. Obviously a little bit of renovation taking place, but it is a wild day here in Kerry. So just wanted to show you the front of Daniel O'Connell's house. Now, and you can visit inside there in the summer months, get a guided tour. It's its own little chapel. I've just been advised by my auntie there that we're in the wrong section for the front of the house. It's a lot more elaborate than this. So there are the gardens, and this is called the fairy plant. This is the stables, no doubt. Have a look around the front here. Oh my God, look at these gardens. Now this is quite off the beaten path. We're in the area known as Cahersiveen, and this is the area called Derrynane. This is the back of the house as well. So he's going on here, and he had a summer house up here. So he worked tirelessly and campaigned for the Irish peasants, but he lived rather spectacularly himself. I'm going to check out his summer house on the estate. This was his summer vacation spot. Wouldn't it be nice? Look at these gardens. It's almost tropical. Wow, look how pretty this is. You can see why people are attracted to here in the summertime. A very famous French journalist, writer and activist, her name was Benoît Groult. She had a holiday home here in Derrynane as well. And one very famous visitor she had in 1988 was Francois Mitterrand, the former president of France. Now apparently it's given me a direction here to his summer home. So let's go have a look. My auntie said that this might be apparently where he met his mistresses. Oh wow, there, yeah. This looks like the little summer house right up there. But you get the idea. It's blissfully quiet here, folks, at the moment. So the stunning life of the liberator of Irish Catholics and the residents, Daniel O'Connell in Derrynane. So we came this far off the beaten track, so I couldn't but not show you the stunning private beach he owned in the area. And this is the Derrynane Seashore Nature Trail. Let's have a quick look through here. And let's see where it's going to take us right down. So what they do is they label it in 1s and 2s and 3s, and you can get a booklet telling you all about the subtropical plants that are in the area. And that garden, there's a lot more information I need to get on that for you, because apparently, because of the Gulf Stream here, it's the ideal conditions for subtropical plants in Kerry. Who knew? So this is just the beach area right down here in Derrynane. All this property on Daniel O'Connell's land here in Derrynane. And this is our next stop on the ring. This is O'Carroll's Cove, another one of our stunning beaches here in Kerry. Now, much smaller one, but very, very popular in the summertime for holiday homes and surfers. You have your amazing little bar here, traditional Irish bar, Maisie Ryan's. Very, very windy. And music, always a traditional Irish music session. I will be showing you one of them later on my Killarney Highlights tour, folks. But this is the place to come, to sit here overlooking the beach. In the summertime, this is where we all come and hang out on this stunning beach in Kerry. Another stop on the Ring of Kerry, famous for its turquoise water in the summertime. Seals and dolphins have been spotted here in abundance, and tropical fish due to the Gulf Stream, which comes in here through several of our beaches in the area. But it looks like we're getting a little shower coming up. But I think you'll agree, sometimes beaches can be as stunning in the winter as they can in the summer. And this beautiful strand of Carroll's Cove. And the wind is rough today, smashing against the rocks the waves are. Let's have a quick look. I think I've been in more beaches in Kerry, folks, in the last 2 days than I have in my entire life. Now, I have been to all of these beaches, but this is one of definitely the favourites, and a very, very popular holiday destination. And if you're on the Ring of Kerry with Darrow's Tours, sometimes they stop and have a little drink here. So you could be here on a glorious hot summer day in the summertime and have a nice pint or gin, as we so much like, overlooking this amazing little beach and rugged coastline. Carroll's Cove. So our final little stop, folks, is here in the beautiful, colourful, small village of Sneem. And here is an amazing dedication to Charles de Gaulle, who visited here in, I believe, 1969. And they do love when their presidents visit areas in Kerry. They put shrines up to them everywhere they go. Now look at this gorgeous little village. This, incidentally, very famous Kerry footballers came from here, but you won't know anything about them. But Kerry footballers are revered all over Ireland. And it's also where William Melville, who was the first head of the British Secret Service, was actually born in this village. That's something I only found out recently myself. Now this is an amazing place to get a bite to eat, O'Shea's, as you're coming to the end of your Ring of Kerry tour. And this is where a lot of people will stay. And they do have great gluten-free options, vegetarian options. They really do cater to everybody's taste now. And this is the stunning, colourful, small village of Sneem. And I think it's one of my favourites, actually. One of my favourites along the way as well. This is the creche. Just get a little look around here. Show you. That's a dedication to one of the presidents of Ireland, who's also buried here. And that's going to take us through Moll's Gap, named after another very famous poutine maker here, and that will take us back into Killarney. So Ring of Kerry and the Kerry Way. Oh, the weather's turning now, ladies and gents. Look at that black cloud. We're in for a super storm any minute. but here in the beautiful Sneem. So probably one of the better views as you arrive back into Killarney is here at Ladies View and Moll's Gap. And this is the rugged terrain that will face you on the final leg of our Ring of Kerry tour. Now back to Killarney, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed showing you. One of the many, many sika deer on the estate in Ireland. Isn't that gorgeous? It was Mum that spotted him. So this is your view on the way back in from the Ring of Kerry, the stunning Moll's Gap, named after another Irish lady called Moll, who again was known for poutine making, ladies and gents. Which was illegally distilled, made from potatoes here in Ireland. So that's the final leg of the tour, overlooking Ladies View, ladies and gents. Sinead signing out here from the stunning Killarney.